It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B Ron. Alongside me is my co-host Yells. Happy Friday, man. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here as always.
Hey
How you doing?
man, it's a great morning. It's a great day in SimWorld. Yes, it is.
Sure is. It sure is. Look, it's Friday. Everybody's favorite day of the week for the most part. We had some great games last night in Symbol Prep, and we're gonna go over a few of them. Why not? Right? We're here. Let's talk. Let's talk about them. Right. First one, I talk about Run DMV and the Philadelphia Elite game.
You want to call that a
Philadelphia.
game?
Yeah. Hey, look, we can call it something, right? A beatdown, a total team effort from Philadelphia to really put the stamp on this
Some
one.
nice pass.
Total, yep, great pass there, and here on the inside again, another jam,
Monte
and
Parsons
we're
was
gonna,
at 2 of his 16 right there.
yeah, so many points, and there's a pull-up jumper from Nas Hall, and there's Nick Beal showing off his step abilities, 0 step there, but all for naught as Monty Parson, Nas Hall, all those kids in Philadelphia dominated on both sides of the ball and put up 92 points
92
in their win
points.
over Gotham 5, improving to 2-0 on the season.
Sheesh. Yeah, they looked great offensively, defensively, all on the court. They did what they needed to do. DMV. I mean, they're going to struggle all season to manufacture points. Defensively, they were going to struggle as well. It was a bad combination, a bad matchup, in my opinion, for
Yep.
DMV because Philadelphia gave it to them on all fronts. 92 points. I'm shocked to see them put up that number of points. I think they shot like somewhere around 65% in the game. And then defensively, they got it done. When I look at this stat sheet here, it looks like what a Philadelphia win would look like. I see 20 points
Yeah.
from Nas Hall in 20 minutes. Of course, he's going to get that many points in that
Right.
short amount of time.
Exactly.
Instant offense. I look and I see JT King, 13 points. He turned the ball over a little bit there. He gave him some chances, but JT King was getting it in, and then I see Monty Parsons 16 points, getting it done 8 of 11 shooting there. On the other side, I don't see anybody from DMV that really stood out. Nick Beal, 5 of 13. Keith Singleton with 12 points. Where the hell is John Hudgens? And then I see a team full
Jay
of no
Jordan
one that
Jr.
played 20 minutes. The only person who played 20 minutes or more in the game, right at 20, was Malik Duffin. So Coach Banks is still trying to figure some things out, apparently.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's still figuring things out, and that's where a lot of these teams are. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but early in the season, everyone is in the process of figuring things out. We've got a
Yeah.
long season ahead of us, plenty of games left to figure things out, and all you can do if you run DMV is chalk it up and see and make sure that next time is better, because you will see this team again. You will see them again in your region. You'll see them multiple times for sure, for sure.
Yeah, well,
Let's
it,
let
it was
let's
a
let's
drubbing. That's what we call
Yes,
it, a drubbing.
absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go from a bad game to a great game last night. G5 and Lakeshore Drive. Lakeshore Drive, I believe, opening up their new arena for the first time, the Olympus Coliseum. And that was a absolutely phenomenal game between those two teams.
Looks like we
And
got some issues here. No montage. Let's go ahead and talk about it
yeah.
anyway, though.
So anyway, yeah, that game, it was a back and forth affair all game. Both teams looked really, really good in that game. Both teams really impressed me. G5 impressed me
Mhm.
after their first game against Philadelphia. They bounced back really nicely, played a competitive game, and kept up with Lakeshore Drive all throughout until the very last moment when Norman Nations had to hit practically a buzzer beater to win the game. And then it hit a shot with .2 on the game clock left after he made the shot. So, but man, overall that game was absolutely impressive. Both teams.
It was an incredible game. It was a buzzer beater. We're not going to say that it seemed like one. Look, I think we got everything pulled up here. We can still take a look at it. This game was
Yeah.
good off the rip, B-Ron. It was back and
Absolutely.
forth, up and down the court, left and right. We see Kel McKnight here, who, I mean, he had a hell of a game. he was flirting around with being player of the game potentially at
Was.
one point. 12 points for him. Then you see here Zay Gore doing his thing on the other side as he kicks it off to Norman
Off to
Nations, who
Norman
we're going to
Nations.
come to. You spoke to it already, but Norman Nations getting quality buckets in this one. Yeah, I mean,
Both teams were running up and down the floor all game, and that was, for me, that was the most impressive thing to see. Both teams have success running up and down the floor and scoring points with these, both inside and outside the paint. But a lot of these points, both of them came from attack to the back, from what I saw throughout a majority of that game.
Yeah, D'Angelo Jordan never really got it going here early. You see, when we look at the score, you saw a 10-point lead for Gotham. Now you see Lakeshore Drive with the lead. Kel McKnight doing some work here, and that's a beautiful pass. Beautiful pass to Mugen Williams.
Yeah, Mugen looked really good in this game too. Very, very not impressed. Impressed was the wrong word, but I'm happy to see how he played in this game.
14 points, 14 boards, 2 blocks. He did his thing. Bruno John Misty only playing 9 minutes there. You see him working. This went to the third quarter. Lakeshore Drive looked like they had it all under control.
Yeah, they were trying to pull away, but Gotham was not really allowing them to pull away, and they were able to get back in the game somewhat. Here you see the one of the late touches of the third quarter there. Great block.
Yeah, JV on deck trying to keep them in it. Majere Williams with a beautiful dime there. Majere Williams had 17.7 assists. He did his job for Gotham 5, but as we got here down the stretch, Gotham 5 continued to try and make a run. There's a big bucket by Majere Williams, 3 of his 17 there to bring it to a tie, B-Ron.
Top hand in his face. Didn't matter, though.
Yeah. Lakeshore Drive down 2 here, and it looks like Gotham's going to get it going. Couldn't get the finish here. Who else but Mugen Williams, 14 rebounds. Right. There's another one of them right there. But B-Ron, you tell us about what happened down the stretch here.
So down the stretch, really, it was, Norman Nations had a great game all game, and down the stretch took over pretty much. But, we're going to see on the inbound play here, Gotham trying to play defense, but the blow by and the jam all too easy for Lakeshore. And as we get down to the final moments here,
more good defense,
but it doesn't matter.
That was a great finish. That was huge.
Absolutely, and was also huge here on the defensive side here for Lakeshore.
That was Keontae Dior tying it up there. And this was the money moment.
Tied it up. Yep, and here it was. 0.2 seconds on the game clock after Norman Nations hit that shot. And from there, it didn't matter. Norman Nations and company able to come away with the win in their game against the G5. And they also get their second win on the season, 83-80. They're also 2-0 to begin the season as well.
Yeah, that's a big time win. And I mean big time win. They came in there, they did their thing. And what are they sitting at now? They sitting at 2-0, 3-0?
2-0 Lakeshore, yeah.
I don't have to check my stats there. I think that may be 3-0 for them, is it?
Well, no. We have the technology.
No. Yeah,
but I believe it is 2-0.
2-0. Yeah. Nevertheless, they showed some grit. They showed some great defense in those other matchups. Last night they showed that they could win in the clutch, and Norman Nation showed exactly who he is. Big time win. Lakeshore Drive's looking good. Rosante Vance must be putting some of that Vance energy into that squad. I love what I saw, man.
Yeah, there was a lot to be impressed about in that game, but in our last one too, more the same thing. More to be impressed about. Head scratch coming out of it too, which we can get more into that one. We have the it was the Indy Stripes playing.
we got all kinds of technical difficulties going on. It's all good though.
The Indy Stripes playing against the Gulf Coast Lockdown. That game, another one where you had rivals, the brothers, the Hoops and Killins, meeting for the first time after Hoops spurned his brother and said, "Hey, I'm gonna play for Indy instead of come with you to Gulf Coast." There's that whole storyline coming in, and then there was also the fact that the two coaches came in with controversies around them prior to the season starting.
Well, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about
But
Dylan
yeah, let's
Harper.
not get there.
Started this
Right? Yeah,
game
Dylan
out
Harper.
balling. He knocked down an early three.
Yes.
Then he saw him forcing an early double team, kicking it out to JJ Hoops for a three. And this was another back and forth game, man. This one
Absolutely.
was all over the place there.
Yeah.
The big story
It
in
was-
this one, though, D-Ron, I don't think we're going to waste any time to even talk about it at all, was Dylan Harper had one hell of a game in a short amount of time. There was all kinds of grumblings. You got to call the game. You saw it there, where he was live in the huddle, complaining about his minutes, and I think rightfully so. He sat on the bench for a large majority. My goodness, Leah Lark there. He sat on the bench for a large portion of the second quarter. We're still here seeing the first quarter. Indy Stripes have a 5-point lead. And here we're still seeing early on there is that Aiko Asai, I believe, going to the rack there. But as this montage continues, you'll see Gulf Coast starts to pull away in the second quarter, and you'll see here on this clip, there's no Dylan Harper on the court.
No Dylan Harper, and in the first half, he played.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 minutes in the entirety of the second quarter, which is insane.
Yep.
And again, we'll come back to that as we continue to go through.
That's a big-time bucket from Kai Killens. Kai Killens, that's probably one of my favorite of his 21 points last night.
Yeah. And there's Dylan Harper coming back into the game and starting to make it a game again, thanks to his presence. And you see here, 2-point game, Indy on defense. And there's Cuthbert, 3-pointer, gets it to go. He had a big game. I think he's close to a double-double. I think he may have gotten a double-double in assists, points as well. But Kai Killens there attacking the basket there. And again, we enter the fourth quarter, and Dylan Harper in the game dishing it off to Leah Lark. Another
Dylan Harper was responsible for 37 of Indy Stripes points. Either he was assisting, where he finished with 4 assists. He had 27 points, and he had to do that. He had to do that in limited minutes.
Yeah, the fact that he had to do all of that in limited minutes just kind of really it makes what he did throughout the game even more impressive, but also at the same time, again, more head scratching. Which again, we can get more into that here in a minute. But going down the stretch here of the game, it's a close game. Indy gets to within 1 here. Cuthbert inside to Killens, and Killens able to get that bucket to go. And you see fired up after that one. I had said that during the game, fired up because he knew that might be the point in time where they can really start to turn it up, put it away. Eventually, Gulf Coast Lockdown that was able to put it away and come home victorious and go to 2-0 on the season, 84-79 win over Indy at Pitt Road Fieldhouse.
Indy let that one slip away. I think it would have been a good game regardless. It's hard to say because we never really saw them get into their groove. But I feel like they let that one slip away because every single time that Dylan Harper was in the game, he was forcing the action offensively. He was forcing Gulf Coast. He forced double teams. He was commanding shades and where they had to pre-rotate over to figure out exactly how they wanted to defend him. But they took the pressure. Coach Shiragan, bad decisions by not having Dylan Harper in the game for more than 20 minutes because that's what it's a 32-minute game. He played 20 minutes. There's 2 people on the team, Reza Red and Jarrell Thrash, who played the equivalent, if not more, minutes than Dylan Harper. That's unacceptable for the number one. You figure out where you want to put him, number 1 or number 2 player in all of the country and all of the world in prep basketball.
Yeah, exactly. And Indy's gonna have to figure out a way to get over this and bounce back somehow. But it starts with having Dylan Harper in the game for more than 20 minutes in a game, an 8-minute game. Gotta be out there more. There's few players who you could say that about, and there's few players in the league who you could say shouldn't complain about minutes. Dylan Harper's one of those kids who should be getting minutes. And if it was anybody else, probably be saying, shut up, or the equivalent of that,
Yeah.
But Dylan
Dylan
Harper,
Harper.
Cooper Flag, those kids got to
Flag.
get their minutes.
Yeah. Japhet
Only
Towns.
two.
Those
Yeah.
guys, I put Japhet up there too. Those guys need to be playing the bulk of your minutes. Scouts are in the
Yeah.
building. We already know. Let me not go ahead and preempt, but there were lots of scouts in the building. I'm not only talking SimWorld U. I know we got some news to talk about with Japhet Town, for Dylan Harper, but there were NBA scouts in attendance for this
Right.
game, and he played 20 minutes. There was
Right.
SWBA scouts in attendance, so.
Yeah. Gotta figure out a way to.
I know that boy's out there feeling like
At the
Dwayne
bud.
Martin in Above the Rim. I know how he's feeling. Blue Chips or any of those basketball movies,
Yeah,
I
yep.
know he's feeling it.
He's out there here to watch, and he's sitting on the bench. Gotta figure it out, man. But he's going to Rutgers next season, though, Dylan Harper. So I am happy about that decision for him. It was surprising though to see him go there, knowing that there was interest from Duke as well, and apparently there were others on the list. Maybe Indiana was in that list as well, or maybe that's Elava wishful thinking. I don't know validity on that one, but I do know that Duke was in the running for Harper as well, and he decided to turn them down and go to Rutgers instead. Are you surprised by the decision? Because I am personally, in a way, because I feel like a player of Harper's caliber would want to go to Duke, but looking at who they have on the roster, who they're going to have on the roster going forward, it makes sense for him to not go that direction, though.
Yeah. I mean, him going to Rutgers, that kind of throws me for a loop just simply because he decided to play his SimWorld Prep basketball in Indy. So I kind of thought that may have been a nod to him playing for Indiana as it was on his hot list.
Right.
But he's an East Coast kid, and we've seen the East Coast kids. They stick to the East Coast. They don't want to. They don't head Midwest. They don't want to head out full West or down South. They love what they love.
Yeah.
And then what you say about making sure that you get the right fit. We talk about that a lot in SimWorld Prep with kids, making sure that you're on the kind of squad that can facilitate what you mean to a team and your talent level. So I think he wanted to go somewhere where he could be the guy, just like he went to the Indy Stripes, where he thinks he can be the guy this season before he goes on to the collegiate level. I'll say this before we move on, though. He's decided to play for Rutgers. He went ahead and made that decision early today. That's pretty early on to make that decision. Then he comes out and he plays this game for Indy Stripes, and coach barely plays him, and he takes a L. You have to ask yourself the question, is it worth it for him to continue to play in SimWorld Prep, let alone play for the Indy Stripes, if he already knows where he's going, and he's not really putting that pressure out there for the scouts to figure out exactly where he's going to play? If this is how it's going to play out for him, what does it matter if he continues? I just wonder.
It's too early in the season, I think, to be talking like that, in my opinion. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I think
a lot of these kids are playing in SimWorld Prep because they're trying to build their collegiate stock. If he's already made his decision, there has to be agents and people in his ear, someone saying, hey, man, how's this going to go? How does it benefit you? What do you get positive from this to continue playing? So it's our job to make that speculation. So I'm speculating.
True. Yeah, no, I understand. I get that for sure. Well, look, speculation is all well and good, and we have more of it to go through here, unfortunately, because there's no sports without drama. And then you can hear CJ from San Andreas. Oh, here we go again, because we got some more to talk about. We got more drama in SimWorld Prep because, of course, right? We saw yesterday a surprise firing that shocked everyone, it seemed like. Mateo Fernandez, head coach of SimWorld South America, is fired. And now head coach is the unnamed assistant taking over there. And we also heard later in the day that there was a power struggle internally that led to the decision to let him go. From all that, what do you make of that? And in the move in general to have him be gone, and the coach taking over, assistant who hasn't been named yet, don't know their name all that. There's a lot going on with that situation. But thoughts on that, yells?
I think it's awkward timing. I think it's
Yeah,
bad timing. I'm not
yeah,
in love with the idea. I'm not a fan of it. Or just a game into the season. I don't believe the team was notified. I'm not sure, but my sources don't tell me that anyone was notified of what was to come. I don't like the situation. But my takeaway is this: as a wrestling fan, know your role and shut your mouth. That's my takeaway. Whatever it is, whatever the power struggle, there's no power struggle unless you're the top. Unless you're the top in a company in the pecking order, there can't be a power struggle. It's an oxymoron. I think everyone has the right to flex their opinion, and you got to do all that. So when we talk about these organizations, we see it time and time again with these coaches. You can have a difference of opinion and all of that. But at the end of the day, I have no clue what's going on in this locker room, and I, personally, I don't agree. Guess what? I'm not employed by the owner of South America, so I have the right to disagree, and I can disagree right here on this show. If I work, you know what I mean? We can say it out loud, be wrong. We can say we don't like it. But if we were employed by the owner and lead investor for SimWorld South America, you got to mind your P's and Q's about what they like, what they don't like. I don't know what happened. I'm not on board with it. But I think the case and the point to be made and the takeaway is you're working for someone else.
Yeah, well, the power struggle, just real quick before we get out of here, the power struggle on this was more so on within the coaching ranks. It wasn't a struggle between it
Okay.
wasn't a struggle between Fernandez and owner
Yeah, the assistant
Maldonado.
coaches too. You're
It was
right.
it was
Yeah.
it was assistant coaches, and Mateo Fernandez was that power struggle was internally, as the rumors are reporting. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's what the rumors are saying.
Well, guess
So
what? Well, I'll say this then. It seems like we know where the power lies in that struggle. Then
yep,
we're hearing about an assistant coach taking over. We don't even know what the hell his name is, and Fernandez is out. So I think we know where
Oscar
the
Rios
power.
Maldonado,
Yeah.
stepped in and said, "Hey, got it under control." And just like he got it under control there, we have things all under control here, and it's been a fun week in Sim World, and it's been a pleasure as always doing the show with you weekly, yells, and we gotta get out of here. Had a good week. Let's as always, it's Friday. I'll let you do the honors.
Thank you. Well, number one, I'm glad you're feeling better, B. Ron. I'm glad you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sounding better. I'm not 100% still a bit in the throat, but I'm good.
Hey,
I'm getting there.
who is ever 100%? Who is? We're all crazy. You may be 100% crazy. Who knows? But we're glad you're feeling better. The
Appreciate
SimWorld
that.
team,
Appreciate
SimWorld
that. Yeah.
TV crew is glad. I'm sure the fans are. I'm sure they also didn't like seeing you go all Dracula mode.
Yeah.
No, but we're glad you're feeling better, fans. We're glad you guys are still tuning in with us. Remember, as always, hit the like button when on these videos. Support us. Share with your friends. Don't come in the chat. Don't come in the YouTube chat with all that Roblox or that. Don't come in there when we're talking basketball, trying to talk some pokey, what was it called, B-Ron?
What did you? Real Pokey Blocks? I don't know what you
Yeah,
did,
real
man.
pokey craft. Don't come in there with that.
Yeah.
We're talking real basketball here. This is real basketball, right? So, and that's what we're doing. SimWorld Hoops, where you can see the game, where you can be the game. Till next time, we see you next week, folks.